Well, I think that's a very good question about information quality and data quality. I think there's two schools of thought on that. A lot of people just use those terms interchangeably, and I think that's fine. I see a lot of papers talking about data quality. I see a lot of papers talking about information quality. We've chosen to use information quality to label our graduate program at the University of Arkansas at Little Rock. But I think there's value in making the distinction, because I see in many areas, not just in information and data quality, but other areas as well, there's sort of two ways of looking at things from the results that you get. In other words, you have an enterprise where you're making an effort and you want to get results, but ultimately you want to get value out of those results, and they're not necessarily the same. So I think this is a great way to make a distinction between data quality and information quality. If you look at the definition of quality from the International Organization for Standardization, ISO, they say that quality is conformance to requirements. So the way I look at data quality, I'm looking at it on the result side, where you're taking your data and you have a set of requirements that have been developed over the years, data quality dimensions we call them, or data quality characteristics. So to me, data quality is measuring things like the degree of completeness or the accuracy of different values in your data. So those are the requirements. You have data requirements, and so data quality is about the degree to which you meet those data quality requirements. For example, right now there's a new set of standards from ISO called the ISO 8000 Master Data Quality Standards, and that's really what they're about. They're about having requirements for data and measuring the degree to which those requirements are met. But on the other hand, I think of information quality in a broader sense. It's about the value. So what is the value of having information that's more accurate or more complete that meets these data quality requirements? So to me, information quality is about value. It's about the value that information has to the organization, to the enterprise, and about the value that information has to the people who use it. So broadly speaking then, we differentiate between data quality and information quality in terms of data quality being conformance to data requirements, and information quality about maximizing the value of your information assets in your enterprise.